Our next segment is a scout's perspective, particularly on Philmont. And I'd like to welcome my son, Eagle Scout, Keaton Graham, who just this past summer, the summer of 2011, journeyed over 300 miles in the backcountry of Philmont in a program called Rayado.
So in 2010, we went on our first Philmont trek. Had an awesome time, like I told you, and he and I really got into backpacking in a pretty big way on that trek, and it was a special moment for us during that time frame. And then we began our journey towards the lightweight era, and by this summer, when he was at Rayado, when he was at Philmont in 2010, he heard about Rayado, which is a character and leadership development deal where they bring these scouts from all over the country that don't know each other onto a crew with a couple of young rangers that are in their 19, 20, 21-year-old types. And they're out on the trail for 20, 21 days, traveling about 300 miles. The motto is to expect the unexpected. They don't know where they're going to be from one day to the next. They don't know where they're going to get their next instructions from. And they're with people that they never met before in their life. And so when I took him to Philmont, he had about a 7.5 to 8 pound pack weight, and I thought it'd be interesting for him to just talk a little bit about his experiences and maybe what he would do different. You could look at his shoes, regular old tennis shoes, and see how they wore, etc. So my son, Eagle Scout Keaton Graham.
Thanks. I'll just tell you about my loadout first, because that's the most interesting thing, obviously. My backpack was a Gossamer Gear G4. I had a Western Mountaineering sleeping bag, the full zip, their ultralight 32 degree bag. My sleep system, I just used the frame of the G4, which is just a torso pad. I was going all in. I wanted to see how far this ultralight thing could really, take us, because we had never done something as serious as a Philmont. So I thought, well, let's not test it to the limits. If I die, oh well. These are my shoes. These are just regular tennis running shoes. They have the soft soles, not like the tough Vibram soles. And surprisingly, they held up pretty well. For a lot of our stuff was off trail, bushwhacking, going through rocks, falling down hills. And, they kept up just as well as any of the boots, and were, really great shoes. They started to fall apart a little bit, but 300 miles, any tennis shoe will fall apart. I only took one set of clothes, just to try it out. I wore them the entire time. They smelled awful the entire time. I had 3 pairs of socks, and, I tried cleaning them every day, but they ended up getting really dirty, and we had to throw them all out. That was it, besides, water and my little first aid and foot care kit. The first thing that happened when I came and at Philmont, the first thing you do, your rangers get together with you and your crew, and you go through everything in your backpack, and they just start taking out stuff and saying, yeah, you probably don't need that. We only need one knife. We only need this and that. They go, they look at my pack, they say, you're fine. The thing that ultralight really does is it shows the rangers that you're prepared and that you actually care about your gear, and you care that you're at Philmont and you're doing something that you want to have a lot of fun with. And it's a big difference between the 7.5 pound pack and the 40 pound pack. And they see that. And not only that, but most of them aren't quite into ultralight backpacking just yet. So they would ask me questions about all of my gear, from the rangers to the ranger trainers to all the staff in between was very interested in what I had and what I had to say. Going out and backpacking, I was in my crew, besides the rangers who had been backpacking all summer, I was by far the strongest backpacker. I was always at the front. I was always the fastest. And when we would go to dry camps, we'd have to carry what we called our black baby, which was a black dromedary, and it was 10 liters filled with water. And I'd always end up being the one carrying that because at the end of a 15-mile day, I had the most energy. I had, my feet weren't being torn apart by blisters. I never got a blister, and that was all because of lightweight backpacking. Ultralight backpacking was just so much easier. It made it a lot better for me. My shelter, the Z-Packs tent, I shared with a buddy, and that worked every single night through rain, through wind, through just about everything.
What was your favorite piece of gear?
My favorite piece of gear, I really loved that tent, the Z-Packs tent, the Hexamid Twin. It's just a great, really easy to set up, really quick to set up, and but also the torso pad from the Gossamer. It's so simple, it's so light. You can sit on it, you can sleep on it. You just pull it out, put it in. There's no losing all your breath at 10,000 feet trying to blow up a giant air mattress or anything else.
Did you do any, are you doing sports or anything to prepare?
You do need to prepare because, you'll have days that are close to 30-mile days. And it was really dry this summer, so it was hot all the time.
Favorite place at Philmont?
The Valle Vidal is my favorite place. That's part of Carson National Forest. I guess it's not Philmont, but it's more in the northern country. Up there, it's totally leave no trace, whereas Philmont is sort of like ad hoc leave no trace. So there's no trails. You're just bushwhacking everywhere you go. And there's no dedicated bear lines, there's no sumps, there's no toilets or anything.
What did you learn the most from your Rayado Trek?
Really, the motto of it is expect the unexpected, and that's what you learn. You get faced with random problems that you would never think of, like losing your backpack or having to do these things or having to walk 15 more miles and it's 5 o'clock at night and you just got 8 days worth of food. So, there's things that you just start learning, and it's, okay, this is happening. No time to complain, no time to moan. Let's go, let's hike. It really is the best scouting experience you can have because you're with people your own age. The age ranges from 16 to 21, and the rangers you're with are your age. They're, 18, 19, 21 years old. You could be yourself, the kid you aren't in front of your scoutmaster or in front of your parents. The important thing was learning and growing and sharing experiences that you have and that you're comfortable with sharing with people out in nature and, living out the scout law. And when you're out for 3 weeks, you really just get used to having nothing to, one of our friends, one of the staff friends that we made had a saying, home is where your stuff is. And he was a big ultralight backpacker, and we talked a lot about that. He had thru-hiked the Arizona Trail and done big sections on the PCT. And, so that was his thing. Home is where your stuff is. So if I'm backpacking, my stuff's on my back, that's where my home is, out wherever my legs can take me. It really changes your perspective about things and about being in nature and how much comfort you really need.